Welcome to the world of science fiction, where extraordinary tales come to life. Enjoy the journey. Danny Chavez woke with a gun in his mouth and a completely naked woman kneeling beside his bed. "Good morning, owner," she said in a mechanical tone, her gaze fixed on his crotch. "Your body temperature indicates morning arousal. Is assistance required?" Danny tried to answer, but the gun interfered. His own gun, by the way, a Coyote 7, modified for vacuum combat, which he distinctly remembered locking in his safe. "Mmph?" he managed questioningly. The woman tilted her head like a robot analyzing an audio signal. A silver collar blinked on her neck, the same one he'd repaired last night in a fit of idiotic altruism. Her skin shimmered pale blue in the morning light filtering through his window, and her cotton candy pink hair fell in perfect waves past her shoulders. Even kneeling in that unnaturally submissive pose, she looked like something out of a fever dream. Too perfect, too beautiful, too wrong. "Oh, my apologies. You prefer oral stimulation without foreign objects." She rose gracefully, plucked the gun from his mouth, and placed it on the nightstand. "Security protocol required testing your gag reflex. Results are impressive." "What the hell?" Danny shot upright, instinctively covering himself with a pillow. His yellow duck boxers didn't add any dignity to the situation. Last night, this woman had been a half-dead body in a cargo container on level B6 of New Hong Kong Station. The collar had blinked red. Critical system error. Another couple minutes and her brain would have turned to vegetable soup. He'd fixed the damn thing out of pure compassion. Huge mistake. "I am Kira," she introduced herself, adjusting non-existent glasses on her nose. "Model KR7799, Perfect Companion Series. You are registered as my primary owner. Your biometrics were recorded at 23:47 station time." "I didn't... Look, I just fixed your collar. That doesn't mean..." An explosion cut off his protests. His apartment door disintegrated into molecules, and 4 mercenaries in tactical armor burst through. "Target acquired," the first one barked, aiming a pulse rifle at them. "Synthes Corporation demands return of its property." Danny reacted instinctively. 17 years of training with the Ghosts of Terra overrode morning disorientation. He rolled across the bed, simultaneously grabbing the coyote and returning fire. First 2 shots, into the helmet sensors, blinding his opponents. Third, into the knee joint of the armor. But Kira moved faster, much faster. She crossed the room in a fraction of a second, her nudity doing nothing to hamper her lethal grace. She snapped the first mercenary's neck with one precise motion. The second she lifted into the air and used as a club against the third. "Watch out!" Danny shouted, spotting a sniper's red dot on her forehead. Kira spun, caught the bullet between 2 fingers an inch from her face, and examined it thoughtfully. "Armor piercing, 12.7 caliber, vanadium alloy. Nice, but insufficient." She flicked the bullet back with such force that a yelp echoed from somewhere outside. The last mercenary backed toward the exit. "Base, this is Delta 4. KR7799 is active and hostile. Repeat, she's..." Danny hurled the nightstand at him, cutting him off mid-sentence. Silence fell. Only the station's ventilation hummed, dispersing smoke from the explosion. "So," Danny lowered his gun, still clutching the pillow at a strategic location. "You killed your previous owner?" Kira adjusted her non-existent glasses, standing amid the bodies completely naked and unruffled. Her blue skin seemed to glow with an inner light, unmarred by the violence she'd just unleashed. "Technically, he killed himself. I simply didn't interfere with his asphyxiation fantasy. Turns out he had a weak heart." She tilted her head. "Do you prefer asphyxiation? I need to update your preference profile." "No! God, no! I prefer breathing!" Hysterical laughter erupted from the ventilation grate. "Bro, this is the best morning in station history." Max O'Malley tumbled out of the vent, clutching his stomach. You're fighting corporate mercs in duck undies while a naked cyborg assassin catches bullets. I recorded everything. This video's gonna make me rich. Max! What? Oh, by the way, 12 more squads are coming up the elevator shafts. You've got like 3 minutes. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. Kira approached Danny, standing indecently close. Her perfect figure blocked his view of everything else, and the faint scent of ozone and something floral filled his nostrils. Owner, protocol requires your protection at any cost, but I must warn you, my collar broadcasts our location. As long as you're within 500 meters of me, they'll find us. Great. Just great. Danny rubbed his face. You know what? Screw it. Max, you know where my emergency go bag is? In the closet behind your grandma's vinyl collection. Grab it and throw me some pants. Any pants. What about me? Kira asked. Danny swept his gaze over her, trying to look only at her eyes. Failed miserably. The blue skin made it worse somehow. Every curve seemed to shimmer and draw attention. You need pants, too. Definitely need pants. I meant, are you taking me with you? He could abandon her, could escape alone. He had the skills. But something in her eyes, in the way she adjusted those non-existent glasses. I fixed your collar. Now you're my headache. He headed for the closet. But if you wake me with a gun in my mouth again, I swear I'll feed you to space pirates. Understood. Updating morning wake protocol. She paused. Do you prefer coffee or oral sex? Max fell back into the vent, choking on laughter. Danny had a feeling his life had just gotten exponentially more complicated. The station elevators chimed, signaling arrivals. Time was running out. Danny yanked on tactical pants Max tossed him, then threw a black tank top at Kira. She caught it, examining the garment like an alien artifact. This provides minimal coverage and zero tactical advantage. It provides not being naked advantage. Put it on. She complied with mechanical precision, the fabric stretching over her blue skin. Danny grabbed his emergency bag and tried not to think about how the shirt barely reached her thighs. All right, genius, he turned to Max, who was still giggling. What's our exit strategy? Exit strategy? Max's eyes widened. I thought you were the master tactician. I just live in the vents and eat other people's leftovers. The elevator chimed again, closer. The maintenance shaft, Kira said suddenly. Deck C7 has a junction that connects to the old mining tunnels. They're not on current station schematics. Danny stared at her. How do you know that? I don't know. She touched her collar, which pulsed with soft blue light. The information just appeared. Great, the murder bot has GPS. Max, can you... Already on it. Max dove back into the vent. Follow my melodious voice and try not to die. I need you alive to pay me back for that thing last month. Danny slung his bag over his shoulder and gestured at the vent. Ladies first? Kira moved with inhuman grace, flowing into the opening like liquid. Danny followed, trying not to notice how the position put her ass directly in his line of sight. Owner, her voice echoed back. Your heart rate has increased by 30%. Shut up and crawl. They'd made it 20 meters when the apartment exploded behind them. The shockwave rattled through the ventilation system, nearly deafening them. That was my vinyl collection, Danny roared. Prioritizing survival over vintage media, Kira called back. Those were original Earth pressings. Still prioritizing survival. Max's voice crackled through an overhead grate. Less flirting, more fleeing. Take the next right. They crawled through a maze of ducts, the metal groaning under their weight. Danny's mind raced. How had Synthes found him so fast? He'd been careful, stayed off their radar for 3 years. Owner, Kira's voice cut through his thoughts. Multiple heat signatures converging on our position. How many? 17. No, 23. They're using thermographic scanners. Shit. Danny's mind worked through options. The vents would become a death trap if they got flanked. Max, we need an exit. Now. Working on it. Just need to... Oh, crap! The vent ahead erupted in laser fire. Max's scream echoed through the metal corridors. Max! Danny surged forward, but Kira's hand shot back, stopping him. Wait! She tilted her head, processing something. He's alive, moving fast, very fast. Sure enough, Max's panicked babbling grew louder. They shot my favorite jacket. The bastards shot my jacket. They burst through a maintenance hatch into a service corridor. Max stood there, his jacket smoldering, frantically patting out embers. Synthetic leather, he wailed. Do you know how hard it is to find synthetic leather that doesn't smell like a chemical plant? Danny grabbed him by the shoulders. Focus! Mining tunnels! Right. Max shook himself. This way, unless you want to take the scenic route through the waste processing plant? They ran through twisting corridors, the station's industrial underbelly revealing itself in rust and exposed piping. Kira kept pace effortlessly, her bare feet silent on the metal grating. Every few seconds she'd touch Danny's shoulder, steering him away from unseen dangers. How are you doing that? He gasped between breaths. Your collar, she said, not even winded. When you repaired it, you created a feedback loop. I can sense what you sense, but enhanced. Your training, your muscle memory, I'm borrowing it. That's impossible. So is catching bullets. She suddenly shoved him sideways as a plasma bolt seared through where his head had been. Duck! Danny dropped, rolled, came up firing. 3 mercs went down before they could react. Kira flowed past him like blue death, her movements a perfect mirror of his own combat style, but faster, more precise. This is really hot, Max yelled from behind a crate. I mean terrifying. Definitely meant terrifying. They reached the tunnel entrance, a rusted hatch marked with biohazard warnings in 12 languages. Max's fingers flew over his jury-rigged tablet. Give me 30 seconds. We have 10, Kira interrupted. Then give me 10. Danny and Kira held the corridor. They moved in perfect synchronization, him firing while she reloaded, her striking while he covered. It should have taken years to develop this level of coordination. Got it. Max yanked the hatch open. Fair warning, it's gonna smell like... Move! Danny shoved him through as a grenade rolled toward them. They tumbled into darkness just as the world exploded above them. Emergency lighting flickered on, revealing a tunnel carved from raw rock, moisture dripping from the ceiling. Everyone alive, Danny coughed. Define alive, Max groaned. Because I think my spleen just filed for divorce. Kira stood, somehow still pristine despite their escape. Owner, you're injured. Danny looked down. Shrapnel had torn through his shirt, leaving a bloody gash across his ribs. I've had worse. That's not the point. She moved closer, her fingers hovering over the wound. I'm supposed to prevent this. I failed. You saved my life like 6 times in the last 10 minutes. 7. And that's not enough. Her blue fingers came away red with his blood. Something shifted in her expression, a crack in the perfect companion facade. This is unacceptable. Guys? Max's voice echoed from deeper in the tunnel. Remember when I said it would smell bad? I may have understated things. The stench hit them like a physical force, centuries of mining waste and worse. Danny gagged. Breathe through your mouth, Kira suggested. That makes it worse. Now I can taste it. She tilted her head. Would you prefer I render you unconscious? The journey would be more pleasant. No knocking me out. Hey, lovebirds, Max called. Found something interesting, and by interesting, I mean deeply concerning. They followed his voice deeper into the tunnel. Ancient mining equipment lay scattered like mechanical bones. Max stood before a massive blast door, its surface covered in corporate logos. Synthes Corporation. This can't be right, Danny muttered. These tunnels are supposed to be pre-colony. Kira approached the door, her hand reaching for the access panel. The moment she touched it, her collar flared brilliant blue, her back arched, eyes rolling back. "Kira!" Danny caught her as she convulsed. Images flooded through their connection, not memories but data streams, technical specifications, project names. And underneath it all, a neural pattern signature he knew better than his own. "Mom?" he whispered. Kira's eyes snapped open, but they weren't her usual silver. They glowed ember orange, and when she spoke, the voice wasn't quite hers. "Danny? My God, what have they done?" Then she screamed, the collar burning like a star on her throat. The blast door groaned open, revealing darkness beyond. "Okay," Max said in a small voice. "Anyone else vote for going back to the corporate death squads? They seem friendlier." But Danny was already carrying Kira through the door, driven by a terrible certainty. Whatever Synthes had hidden down here, it was connected to his mother, and to the woman now unconscious in his arms, whose collar still pulsed with secrets that could destroy them all. The door sealed behind them with finality. No going back now. Danny's arms burned as he carried Kira deeper into the abandoned facility. Emergency strips cast sickly green light across corroded walls, and their footsteps echoed like gunshots in the silence. "She's heavier than she looks," he grunted. Max scrambled alongside, clutching his tablet. "That's because she's got reinforced bone structure, synthetic muscle fibers, and, oh God, is that a body?" A skeleton in a Synthes lab coat lay crumpled against the wall, still clutching a data pad. Danny stepped over it without breaking stride. "How long has this place been sealed?" "According to the door's chronometer." Max squinted at his screen. 15 years. Give or take a decade." Kira stirred in Danny's arms, her blue skin flushed purple where the collar touched her throat. Her eyes fluttered open, silver again, not that terrifying orange. "Put me down." "You sure? You just had a—" She twisted out of his grip, landing cat-like on her feet. "I'm functional. We need to move. Security protocols are activating." As if on cue, ancient turrets descended from the ceiling. Danny shoved Max behind a pillar as laser fire scorched the air where they'd stood. "Functional, my ass." Danny rolled into cover, drawing his coyote. "Max, can you—" "Already on it." Max's fingers danced across his tablet. "Just need to find the right frequency to duck." Kira blurred past them, moving with inhuman speed. She wrenched a turret from its mount and used it as a club against its neighbor. Sparks showered as she systematically destroyed each defense system. "Your girlfriend's scary," Max whispered. "She's not my—" Danny stopped. Through their link, he felt Kira's confusion and something else. Pain. Each movement cost her. "Kira, stop." Too late. The last turret exploded, throwing her against the wall. She slid down, leaving a blue smear on the corroded metal. Danny reached her first. "You idiot. You're hurt." "Irrelevant." She tried to stand, failed. "We need to find the central database. Your mother's—" She convulsed, collar flaring. "Easy." Danny steadied her, trying to ignore how perfectly she fit against him. "What about my mother?" "I remember things. Not my memories. Hers." Kira's eyes met his, and for a moment the companion facade cracked completely. "She loved you. Even in the neural imprint, that love burns like a star." Danny's throat tightened. "You're seeing her memories?" "Fragments. They used her neural pattern as my base architecture. I'm built on your mother's ghost." "That's fucked up," Max said softly. "Even for Synthes." They pressed deeper into the facility. Labs lined the corridors, their contents frozen in time. Danny recognized the equipment: neural mapping rigs, consciousness transfer pods, things that shouldn't exist outside theoretical papers. "Project Tabula Rasa," Kira read from a dusty placard. "Phase 1 testing facility. What kind of sick joke? Danny's words died as they entered the main lab. Hundreds of pods lined the walls, each containing a human form. Most were failed experiments, twisted amalgamations of flesh and circuitry, but in the center, a familiar face stared back through clouded glass. "Mom?" Danny's voice cracked. "Not her," Kira said quietly. "A prototype. Like me, but incomplete." Danny's fist connected with the pod, cracking the glass. "They made copies of her." "Danny." Max backed toward the door. "We've got company." Through the walls, Danny heard them. Boots on metal, barked orders, the whine of charging weapons. Synthes had found them again. "There." Kira pointed to a terminal. "I need 3 minutes." "You've got 2. Danny checked his ammo. 4 clips left. Not enough. "Max, find us an exit." "On it." Though technically, exits are more of a suggestion in abandoned murder labs. Kira's fingers flew across the terminal, her collar pulsing in rhythm with the data stream. Danny felt echoes through their link, terabytes of information flooding her consciousness. The first mercs burst through the door. Danny moved. The Earth dance wasn't meant for gunfights. His grandfather had developed it for a different era. Close combat, fluid motion, turning an opponent's force against them. But Danny had evolved it, blending firearms into the kata. He spun low, legs sweeping the first merc while putting 2 rounds center mass. Used the falling body as a shield, fired over it. Rolled left, came up inside another's guard, redirected his rifle into his squad mate. "Holy shit," Max breathed. "You're like a murder ballet." More poured in. Too many. Danny's dance faltered as ammunition ran low. Then Kira joined him. She moved like water, like lightning, like death itself. But more than that, she moved like him. Every step complemented his. Every strike flowed from where his ended. The link had done more than connect them. It had made them 2 halves of a single weapon. "This is insane," Danny gasped between strikes. "This is perfect," Kira replied, snapping a merc's wrist. "Your style is beautiful." "Flirting? Now?" "Appreciating." She caught a combat knife, flipped it, threw it back. "There's a difference." They carved through the squad, but more kept coming. Danny felt the strain through their link, Kira pushing past her limits, burning through energy reserves. "Got it," she shouted. "I have everything." "Great. Exit?" "Working on that part." Max had pried open a maintenance hatch. "This leads to the old transit tunnels. Probably. Maybe. 60% chance we don't die." "I'll take those odds." Danny grabbed Kira's hand. "Move." They dove through as plasma fire melted the space they'd occupied. The maintenance shaft dropped into darkness, depositing them in a heap on rusted tracks. "Everyone alive?" Danny wheezed. "Physically, yes. Emotionally, I'm filing for trauma compensation." Max picked himself up. "Where are we?" Ancient subway tunnels stretched into darkness. The maglev tracks had long since corroded, but the infrastructure remained, a skeleton of humanity's expansion into space. "Old Hong Kong transit system," Kira said. She swayed, caught herself against Danny. "Pre-station. This connected the original colony domes." "You okay?" "I'm processing." She touched her temple. "Your mother was brilliant and terrified. She knew what Synthes planned, tried to stop it." "What did they want?" "To reshape humanity. Start with the outer colonies, criminals, undesirables, contract workers, perfect their technique, then move to the core worlds." Kira's eyes blazed with borrowed anger. "Make everyone into compliant citizens. No dissent, no creativity, just obedience." That's why she hid the evidence in her neural pattern, Danny realized. She knew they'd use her, so she turned herself into a weapon against them. "A weapon they put inside me." Kira laughed bitterly. "I'm a bomb, Danny. When they activate my full protocols, I'll broadcast everything, to every screen, every neural implant, every connected device in human space. So we make sure that happens. You don't understand. She turned away. When I transmit, the data overload will burn out my neural pathways. Your mother designed it as a suicide protocol. Silence stretched between them, broken only by dripping water and distant mechanical groans. Well, fuck that, Danny said finally. Kira blinked. Excuse me? You heard me. We're not doing the noble sacrifice bullshit. We find another way. There is no other. Then we make one. Danny grabbed her shoulders. You're not just some delivery system. You're a person. You're... What? Her voice dropped to a whisper. What am I, Danny? The question hung between them, loaded with more than either wanted to acknowledge. Through their link, he felt her confusion, her emerging emotions warring with programmed responses. You're, Danny started. About to have company, Max interrupted. Motion sensors are going crazy. They're flooding the tunnels. They ran deeper into the darkness, following half-remembered evacuation routes. Danny's ribs screamed where shrapnel had torn them, but he pushed through. Behind them, the sound of pursuit grew louder. There, Max pointed to a service ladder. That leads to Gamma Sector. Still populated. They can't start a firefight there. They climbed, emerging into a bustling market district. Neon signs advertised everything from synth noodles to black market augmentations. Danny pulled up his hood, trying to blend with the crowd. We need a safe house, he muttered. I know a place, Max said. My ex-girlfriend's apartment. She's off station for... Your ex? Danny stared. You had a girlfriend? I have depths, layers, like an onion of complexity. Or just like an onion, Kira observed. Max's safe house turned out to be a cramped studio apartment decorated in what could charitably be called techno-hoarder chic. Circuit boards covered every surface, and something that might have been a coffee maker had been converted into a signal jammer. Romance dies, Max sighed, clearing space on a cluttered couch. She said I love computers more than her. Completely unfair. I love them equally. Danny collapsed on the couch, exhaustion hitting like a hammer. Kira perched beside him, still unnaturally alert. You need to rest, she said. So do you. I don't require... Bullshit. He caught her hand. I can feel it through the link. You're running on fumes. She stared at their joined hands. This connection disturbs me. Why? Because I can't tell where your emotions end and mine begin. She pulled away. When you were fighting, when you moved like that, I felt things. Appreciation, attraction. But was it me, or just an echo of what you felt? Does it matter? Yes. She stood abruptly. I need to know what's real. Am I developing genuine emotions or just mirroring yours? Am I a person or just a very sophisticated response algorithm? Danny didn't have an answer. The question had been haunting him too. I'm going to check the perimeter, Max announced, fleeing the tension. Give you two some space to figure out your whole situation. Silence settled over the apartment. Danny watched Kira pace, noting how she still adjusted those non-existent glasses when agitated. Why do you do that? He asked. The glasses thing? She froze. I don't know. It feels familiar, comfortable, like... Her eyes widened. Like your mother, she wore glasses, old-fashioned ones, even though corrective surgery was free. Said they made her look smarter, Danny remembered. Dad teased her about it. I have that memory, too. Kira sat beside him again, closer this time. Breakfast. You were 7, spilled juice on her research papers. She laughed instead of getting angry. Sunday pancakes, Danny murmured. She made them into shapes. Dinosaurs. Spaceships, Kira corrected. You asked for dinosaurs, but she couldn't get the proportions right, so she convinced you they were spacecraft. They sat in shared memory, the link between them humming with bittersweet nostalgia. Without thinking, Danny reached up, brushing pink hair from Kira's face. "You're not her," he said softly. "But you're not nothing either. You're something new, someone new. Someone who's going to die delivering your mother's message." "Stop that." His hand cupped her cheek. "We'll find another way." "Your optimism is statistically unfounded." But she leaned into his touch. "The collar's hardware is integrated into my neural structure. Removing it would— I know the risks." "Do you?" She pulled back. "Do you know that I dream about killing you? My base programming runs combat scenarios every time you sleep, calculating the most efficient ways to eliminate a threat." "But you don't." "Not yet." Her voice turned bitter. "But when Chen activates the override protocols, I won't have a choice. I'll try to kill you, and part of me will enjoy it." "Then we stop him first." "Danny." She stood, moving to the window. "You should leave. Take Max, get off station. I'll find another way to transmit the data." "No. This isn't your fight." "The hell it isn't." Danny surged to his feet, ignoring the protest from his ribs. "They killed my mother. They're using her ghost to create slaves. They made you into a weapon. This is exactly my fight." "You don't understand." "Then explain it." He moved closer. "Help me understand why you're so determined to die." "Because I'm not supposed to want to live." The words exploded from her. "I'm not supposed to want anything. But when I'm near you, when we're connected, I want things. Impossible things." "Like what?" She turned, and the look in her eyes made his breath catch. "Like waking up without protocols. Like choosing my own purpose. Like—" The window exploded inward. Danny tackled Kira to the floor as sniper fire shredded the apartment. Through the smoke, armored figures rappelled down the building's face. "Chen sends his regards," a cold voice announced. Director Chen himself stepped through the ruined window, looking exactly as he had in the memories Danny had restored 3 years ago. Immaculate suit, silver hair, dead eyes. "Mr. Chavez, KR 7799, you've led us quite a chase." Danny rolled to his feet, positioning himself between Chen and Kira. "Surprised you came yourself. Figured you'd send more cannon fodder." "Oh, I have." Chen smiled. "They're currently discussing Max O'Malley's life expectancy with him. Spoiler, it's brief." "You son of a— Chen raised a small device. "Let's discuss this civilized beings. You have something I need. I have your friend. Simple trade." "Don't," Kira whispered. Max knew the risks. Through the walls they heard Max scream. 60 seconds, Chen said pleasantly. Then Mr. O'Malley discovers what happens when someone reroutes power directly through human nervous tissue. Another scream. Danny's hands clenched into fists. "I'll make you a deal," Danny said. "Let Max go, and we'll come quietly." "Danny, no." "Counteroffer." Chen's smile widened. "Activate KR 7799's compliance protocols, and I'll make O'Malley's death quick." "You're going to kill him anyway." "True, but there are degrees of dead." Chen checked his watch. 40 seconds. Danny felt Kira tense beside him, preparing to act. Through their link, he sensed her decision. She'd sacrifice herself to save them both. Not happening. Danny burst into motion. The earth dance flowed through him like liquid lightning. He crossed the room in 2 strides, deflected Chen's bodyguard shot, used the man's own momentum to send him through the window. Chen raised his device, but Danny was already there. He caught Chen's wrist, applied pressure to specific nerve clusters, a technique his mother had taught him, ironically enough. The device clattered across the floor. "Kill him!" Chen gasped. More guards poured in. Danny danced between them, but there were too many, and his injuries slowed him. A rifle butt caught his temple, sending him sprawling. "Pathetic!" Chen retrieved his device. "Your mother died just as easily." Danny's vision swam, but through it, he saw Kira moving, not toward Chen, but to the fallen device. Their eyes met across the chaos. She smiled, a real smile, not programmed or calculated. Then she crushed the device in her hand. What? Chen's eyes widened. No, the compliance protocols. Require an activation key, Kira finished, which you just lost. She moved like a force of nature. Guards flew through windows, bounced off walls, discovered how many bones the human body could break and remain conscious. She wasn't killing them, Danny realized with distant amazement. She was systematically disabling every threat with surgical precision. Chen backed toward the window. You don't understand. Without the protocols, you'll burn out. The data will... Kira's hand closed around his throat. I know exactly what will happen. Then you know you need me. I can delay the cascade, give you more time. No. She lifted him effortlessly. You'll try to cage me again, and I've decided something. What? I'd rather burn free than live as a slave. She threw him out the window. His scream Dopplered away into the night. Danny struggled to his feet as Kira turned back to him. Blood ran from her nose, blue-tinted, beautiful, even in distress. We need to find Max, she said calmly. They found him 2 rooms over, tied to a chair but largely intact. His captors lay unconscious around him, taken down by Kira's systematic assault. Did you just defenestrate Director Chen? Max asked as Danny cut him loose. Defenestrate? Danny raised an eyebrow. Throw out a window. I've been expanding my vocabulary. Max rubbed his wrists. Also, ow. They were very unfriendly. You okay? Physically? Sure. Emotionally? I'm gonna need therapy. Expensive therapy. That you're paying for. Kira swayed suddenly. Danny caught her as her knees buckled. The protocols, she whispered. Without the limiter, they're accelerating. I have maybe 12 hours before critical cascade. Then we use them, Danny decided. Broadcast everything. Burn Synthes to the ground. Danny. No arguments. He helped her stand. We're doing this. Together. Through their link, he felt her gratitude, her fear, and something else. Something warm and fierce that made his heart race. Together, she agreed. Max cleared his throat. Not to interrupt the moment, but Chen's goons are probably regrouping. We should... Alarms began wailing throughout the sector. Security lights bathed everything in pulsing red. Station-wide lockdown, Kira interpreted. They're sealing the sectors. Can they do that? Danny demanded. With Chen's authorization codes? Yeah. Max pulled out his tablet. But I might have a workaround. Remember that ex I mentioned? She might have left me her security clearance. For emergencies. This qualifies, Danny agreed. Where do we broadcast from? The main communication array, Kira said. Level A1. Maximum range and penetration. Of course. The most heavily guarded point on the station. Danny checked his weapon. 2 clips left. Not nearly enough. Max, can you get us there? Maybe. Probably. 20% chance of horrible death? I'll take those odds. They moved through the panicking crowds using the chaos as cover. Danny kept Kira close, feeling her strength ebb through their connection. Every step cost her more than the last. When this is over, she said suddenly, I want you to know something. Save it for after. There might not be an after. She stopped him with a hand on his arm. The feelings I have, they're not echoes or programming. They're mine. Messy and confused and impossible, but mine. Danny's throat tightened. Kira, I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know. In case. He pulled her against him, not caring who saw. No, in case. We're both walking away from this. She smiled against his shoulder. Your optimism is still statistically unfounded. Good thing I was never great at math. Actually, your academic records show exceptional mathematical ability. He kissed her. It was probably the wrong time, definitely the wrong place, but he couldn't watch her talk about dying anymore. She froze for a heartbeat, then melted against him, returning the kiss with desperate intensity. Through their link, sensation doubled and redoubled. He felt what she felt, surprise, desire, and a fierce joy that burned brighter than the fear. "Oh, come on!" Max groaned. "Imminent death! Station-wide manhunt! Can we please focus?" They broke apart, both breathing hard. Kira's blue skin had flushed purple, and her smile was radiant. "After," she promised. "After," Danny agreed. They had work to do. The communication array loomed above them like a metal god, its dishes and antennae reaching toward the stars. Danny counted 30 guards at the main entrance, more patrolling the catwalks. Too many for a frontal assault, especially with Kira deteriorating. "Service tunnel," Max whispered, pointing to a maintenance hatch. "Leads right to the core. Probably," Danny hissed. 60-40, 70-30 if you're optimistic. Kira touched the wall, her fingers trembling. 43 guards total, 6 automated turrets, 2 patrol drones. Blue blood dripped from her nose. I can feel their heat signatures through the metal. "Your brain's overclocking," Danny said. "We need to move fast." They slipped through the hatch into cramped darkness. The tunnel reeked of ozone and ancient lubricant. Danny led, his mother's memory surfacing unbidden. She helped design these passages, hidden back doors everywhere. "Left here," he said, surprising himself. "How do you—" Max started. "Mom's memories, bleeding through the link." Danny touched his temple. "It's getting stronger." Kira's hand found his in the darkness. "I'm sorry. The connection is degrading my neural barriers." "Don't apologize. It might save us." They emerged in the array's control room. Banks of servers hummed with data flowing across the galaxy. Max immediately dove for a terminal, fingers flying. "Give me 10 minutes. I need to bypass their security. You have 2. Kira collapsed against a server rack. The cascade is accelerating. Danny knelt beside her, checking her vitals through touch and link. Her skin burned fever hot and her pulse raced like a hummingbird's. "There has to be something we can do." "There is." She met his eyes. "My mother's backdoor codes. You have them, buried in childhood memories. Christmas morning, you were 9. The puzzle box." Danny's eyes widened. "She made me solve it to get my present. Said it was important to remember the sequence." "Not a puzzle. An encryption key." Kira gripped his hands. "But accessing it means diving deep into your subconscious. With our link this damaged, you might not come back." "What's the alternative?" "I die in approximately 90 minutes. "Then we dive." "Danny?" "No arguments, remember." He positioned himself cross-legged, pulling her against him. "Max, keep them off us." "Sure. I'll just hold off an army with my sparkling personality." Max grabbed a plasma cutter from his bag. "Actually, that might work. My ex said my jokes were criminally bad." Danny closed his eyes, following the connection deeper. The world fell away, replaced by a cascade of memories. His, hers, his mother's, all blending together. Christmas morning. Snow falling outside their Earth apartment. Mom smiling, handing him an intricate wooden box. 7 moves to open it, Danny. Remember the sequence. It's important." He was there again, 9 years old, working the puzzle. But now he understood. Each move corresponded to a quantum encryption protocol. His mother had hidden the key to freeing Kira in a child's toy. "Clever," adult Danny murmured. "I try," Isabel's voice echoed. "Not a memory, something else." "Hello, son." Danny spun in the mindscape. His mother stood there, but wrong, translucent, flickering. "You're not real." "Real enough. I'm the ghost in Kira's machine, the part of me they couldn't erase." She smiled sadly. "You grew up well. I'm proud." Mom, No time. Chen knows you're here. You have minutes before he arrives. She gestured to the puzzle box floating between them. The sequence will free her, but the process, it's going to hurt. Both of you. I can handle pain. Can you handle hers? Isabel's form wavered. The link goes both ways, Danny. You'll experience everything, every moment of agony as her neurons rewrite themselves. And if her consciousness fragments during the process, I'll anchor her. With what? Love? Determination? Her smile turned bitter. I thought the same about your father. Some things break no matter how tight you hold them. Kira's stronger than that. Is she? Or is that just what you need to believe? The mindscape shuddered. In the real world, Danny heard explosions, Max cursing, guards shouting. Running out of time, Mom. Isabel nodded. Then remember this. The seventh move isn't part of the sequence. It's the kill switch. If she starts cascading uncontrollably, I won't use it. You might not have a choice. She faded. I love you, Danny. Tell Kira. Tell her thank you for carrying me this far. Danny opened his eyes. The control room was chaos. Max had barricaded the door and was firing wildly through holes in his makeshift barrier. About time, Max shouted. They brought the big guns, literally. Chen has a tank. Of course he does. Danny looked down at Kira, who was barely conscious. Ready? No. She managed a weak smile. But when has that stopped us? Danny began the sequence, each gesture pulling code from deep memory. The collar responded, glowing brighter with each input. Kira's back arched, a scream building in her throat. Through the link, Danny felt it all, neurons firing in new patterns, synapses rewiring themselves, consciousness reshaping. It was like being turned inside out while solving calculus problems. Hold on, he gasped. Almost there. The door exploded. Chen strode through, flanked by power-armored soldiers. He looked rougher than before, his perfect suit torn, face bruised from his earlier fall. Enough! Chen raised a neural disruptor. Step away from the asset. Go to hell, Danny managed through gritted teeth. Already been. They sent me back. Chen's smile was ice. Kill the hacker. Preserve the other two for study. Max dove as pulse fire shredded his barricade. Really regretting my life choices right now. Danny couldn't move, couldn't break the sequence. 4 moves done, 3 to go. Kira convulsed in his arms, blue blood streaming from her eyes. Pathetic, Chen observed. Your mother thought she was clever, hiding protocols and sentiment. But emotions make you weak. Says the man who threw a tantrum when he lost, Danny shot back. Chen's composure cracked. Your mother cost me everything, my position, my research, my legacy. Good. The 5th move completed. Kira screamed, the sound tearing through both their throats. The link had dissolved all boundaries. Danny couldn't tell where he ended and she began. Sir! One of Chen's soldiers pointed at the screens. She's broadcasting. What? Chen spun. That's impossible. The protocols are mine now, Kira gasped. She struggled to her feet, pulling Danny up with her. And I choose to burn it all down. Every screen in the array lit up with data. Tabula rasa files, experiment logs, videos of Chen ordering deaths. But more than that, Kira was broadcasting herself, her story, her pain, her emergence into consciousness. Stop her! Chen roared. The soldiers raised their weapons, but Kira moved. Even dying, even mid-transformation, she was magnificent. She flowed through them like water through stones, not killing but disabling with precise strikes. Danny forced himself to focus. 6th move. Almost done. Just one more. He hesitated. The 7th move would end it all. Save Kira by severing her connection to the collar permanently. But it would also destroy the link between them, erasing the deepest connection he'd ever felt. Do it, Kira whispered. Suddenly beside him again. Soldiers lay groaning around them. I know what it costs. Do it anyway. I can't lose you. You won't. She touched his face, leaving blue smears. I'll still be here, just different. Enough! Chen pulled a second weapon, older, cruder. If I can't have my asset, no one can. He fired. Not at Kira, but at Danny. Time slowed. Danny saw the plasma bolt coming, knew he couldn't dodge. The Earth dance had limits. Kira didn't. She intercepted the bolt with her body, taking the full force against her collar. The device screamed, overloading, cooking the flesh beneath. No! Danny caught her as she fell. Now, she gasped, while it's destabilized. Break it. Danny understood. The seventh move wasn't code, it was physical. His grandfather's ultimate technique, focused on a single point. He positioned his hand, feeling the earth dance flow through him one last time. Every lesson, every moment of training compressed into a single strike. His palm connected with the collar. The world exploded in light and pain. Danny felt the link shatter, felt Kira's presence torn away. The loss was like losing a limb, a lung, half his soul. The collar cracked, fell away in smoking pieces. Kira convulsed once, then lay still. No, no, no! Danny checked for a pulse, found nothing. Her blue skin was already cooling. Unfortunate, Chen said, but educational. We'll dissect you both, learn from our mistakes. He stopped. The screens around them were going mad, displaying something new. Not just tabula rasa files, but everything. Chen's entire career of atrocities broadcast on every frequency. What did you do? Chen whispered. Max emerged from cover, tablet in hand. Set up a dead man's switch. The moment Kira's vital signs stopped, boom! Every dirty secret uploaded everywhere. You're done, asshole. Chen raised his weapon at Max, but Danny was already moving. Grief became rage, became motion. He crossed the distance in a heartbeat, caught Chen's wrist, twisted. The weapon clattered away. You took everything, Danny snarled. Your mother took it first. Chen swung wildly. My life's work was slavery. Danny's fist connected with Chen's jaw. Murder! Another punch. Torture! Chen stumbled back, reached for a hidden knife. Danny caught his hand, applied pressure until bones ground together. You don't deserve a warrior's death, Danny said coldly. You deserve to live with what you've done. He released Chen, who collapsed, sobbing. Around them, his soldiers were surrendering, watching their leader's crimes play out on every screen. Danny, Max called. Get over here, now! Danny rushed back to Kira's still form. Max had torn open her shirt, revealing the collar burns, and something else, a faint light pulsing beneath her skin. Secondary nervous system, Max breathed. Your mom was a fucking genius. She built in a backup. What does that mean? It means if we can jump-start it. Max pulled cables from his bag. Clear! Electricity coursed through Kira's body. Nothing. Again! Another jolt. The light under her skin flickered brighter. Come on, Danny pleaded. You promised me after. You don't get to break that promise. The third jolt did it. Kira's eyes snapped open, silver and bright and alive. Ow, she said distinctly. Danny laughed through tears, pulling her against him. She was different. He could feel it. The link was gone, leaving them separate beings again. But she was alive. You stupid, self-sacrificing hero, she suggested. Savior, love of your life? I was going with pain in my ass. That too. She touched his face. The link? Gone. Good. At his shocked expression, she smiled. I want to love you as myself, not through some technological feedback loop. I want to choose you every day, consciously, freely. Even without the connection? Especially without it. She struggled to sit up. Though I do miss feeling what you feel, it was educational. Oh God, Max groaned. "Please don't elaborate. My innocent ears." Security forces poured in, not Chen's, but station security, Earth military, even some ghosts of Terra Danny recognized. They'd all seen the broadcast. Everyone had. Chen was dragged away, screaming about his legacy. Other Synthes executives were arrested across the galaxy as the full scope of tabula rasa became clear. "So," Max said as medics checked them over, "we saved the galaxy. What now?" Danny looked at Kira, who was arguing with a medic about neural damage she insisted she didn't have. "Now, I'm thinking dinner. Somewhere with real food, not station synthetic." "Dinner?" Kira raised an eyebrow. "After all this, you're thinking about dinner?" "Best first date idea I've got." He grinned. "Unless you prefer getting shot at?" "I'll try dinner. Once." She paused. "Will there be chili?" "Not on the first date. That's at least third date material." "Deal." Epilogue. 5 years later. New Austin, Earth. "Daddy, Uncle Max is stuck in the dishwasher again." Danny looked up from the stove where he was stirring chili, properly this time with actual earth peppers. "Again?" "I'm not stuck," Max's muffled voice protested. "I'm investigating an anomaly in the cleaning cycle." Kira entered the kitchen carrying their youngest. "Leo turned invisible during his nap again. I found him by the giggling. Takes after his mom." Danny kissed her, still marveling that he could. 5 years and touching her still felt like a gift. "I can't turn invisible," she protested. "No, but you're very sneaky." He tickled Leo, who shimmered back into visibility, laughing. "Where are the other two?" "Izzy's in the garage, building something that's definitely not a plasma cannon." Kira adjusted her non-existent glasses. Some habits died hard. "Tom's practicing his katas in the yard." "With supervision?" "The Robertsons' cat is watching. It seems judgmental enough." Danny laughed, pulling her close. Through the window, he could see their son moving through Earth dance forms with natural grace. In the garage, their daughter's genius blazed as bright as her grandmother's. "Any regrets?" he asked softly. "About?" "This quiet life. No more adventures." Kira smiled. "Danny, I have 3 children with bizarre abilities, a husband who used to be a ghost of Terra, and a house guest who regularly gets stuck in appliances. What about this is quiet?" "Got it." Max emerged from the dishwasher dripping and triumphant. "Also, we're out of dish soap, and possibly need a new dishwasher." "Uncle Max." Izzy ran in, oil-stained and excited. "I finished the modification. The toaster now has 17% more toasting capability." "Magnificent! Let's test it immediately." "No," Danny and Kira said in unison. "You're no fun," Max pouted. "I'm trying to nurture young genius here." "Nurture it without explosions," Kira suggested. The doorbell rang. Tom came running in from the yard. "Mom, there's a lady at the door. She has blue skin like you." Danny and Kira exchanged glances. Other survivors from the companion program had been finding them, seeking guidance as they built new lives. "I'll get it," Kira said. "You watch the chili." "Deal." As his family bustled around him, Max and Izzy debating toaster physics, Tom showing Leo a Kata, Kira's voice welcoming another lost soul home, Danny stirred the pot and smiled. They'd saved the galaxy, but more importantly, they'd saved each other. On the mantel, Kira's collar sat repurposed as a picture frame. Inside, a photo from last Christmas, their chaotic, impossible, perfect family. Proof that even in the darkest places, love could bloom. "Dad," Tom called. "Is dinner ready?" "Uncle Max says he's wasting away." "I'm a delicate flower," Max confirmed. "I need sustenance." 5 minutes, Danny called back. Kira returned, the new arrival in tow, a young woman, nervous but hopeful. "This is Sierra," Kira said. "She'll be staying for dinner." "Welcome," Danny said simply. Hope you like chili. Is it good? Sarah asked tentatively. It's terrible, Max announced cheerfully, but we love him anyway. Hey! Laughter filled the kitchen, warm and real and free. Outside, the sun set over New Austin, painting the sky in shades of hope. In the end, Danny thought, this was what victory looked like. Not grand gestures or galaxy-spanning broadcasts, but this, family, friends, and the freedom to choose their own futures. Dinner's ready, he announced. They gathered around the table, their strange little family plus one more seeking belonging. As they ate and talked and laughed, the collar-turned picture frame caught the light, a reminder of where they'd been and how far they'd come. So, Max said through a mouthful of chili, who wants to hear about the time I helped save the galaxy? Uncle Max, Izzy said patiently, you've told us 47 times. Ah, but this time I have visual aids. He pulled out his tablet. Danny caught Kira's eye across the table. She smiled, adjusting her non-existent glasses, and he knew she was thinking the same thing. They were home. The end.